Right.
So tonight, my wife made chili for dinner, chili and cornbread. And what I do is I take the cornbread and put it at the bottom of the bowl and then put the chili on top of it. Is that
That's
weird?
that's a little strange. Usually able-minded normal people put the cornbread on top of the chili to kind of break it up, they give it a little bready taste. I don't know if I've ever in my life actually heard of someone. What? Wait. Okay. So you get the bowl. Wait.
Yep.
Now I'm thinking this out.
Yep.
You get the bowl,
Yep.
then
Put the
put the
cornbread
cornbread.
at the bottom of the bowl.
So you break it up at the bottom.
No, I keep it whole.
So you basically take a bowl and drop a piece of cornbread dead center in the middle,
Yep.
and then put chili over that.
Correct.
Yeah, no, that's weird. That's weird.
So, and here's the other thing. If the cold bread is corn, right? Because chili's 2 nights in this house. So tomorrow night she'll warm up the chili, and then I'll put the cold piece of cornbread on the bottom of the bowl and then the warm chili on top. So the chili heats up the cornbread as I continue to eat. Come on, man. It's revolutionary.
Nah, we gotta get
That's
you
a
some help.
that's a real eater.
First off, don't ever look at me and say that's a real eater. Don't ever. You should never look at another grown man and say that's a real eater. I think we listen. Listen. Hey, is this what they say? Every day we stray farther and farther from God's light. They say that's what they say. That's what they say. Yo, I'm starting to officially see from some Drake folks out there that they are officially saying Kendrick the beef. Some of them okay, Kendrick won the beef.
They got there. I'm glad. It just sometimes it takes some time to get there. Like when like it took me 3 games to realize, man, maybe the Mavericks aren't going to be champions this year. It takes time.
For those who are listening, Bam, good friend of the show, just joined, and his first comment as he joins the chat said, "Danny taught me how to be a real eater."
That's
If
right.
You didn't know, Bam. Okay, Bam and Danny are cousins, so whatever freaky ass shit they talking about is part of their family and not mine. Speaking of family, go ahead.
That's the 2 things. You watch a show where cousins and siblings have sex with each other, and 2, Bam's going to be in town on Thursday, and he didn't say a word to me. He's not my real friend.
How did you know he's going to be in town if he didn't say a word to you?
I talked to his grandmother last night. His grandmother was at my mom's house, and my mom called me, and she was like, "Oh, she's here," and I said hello, and she was like, "Yeah, he gonna be here on Thursday," and I was like, "Oh, he ain't say nothing to nobody."
Okay, so y'all got to. So I should be wary of any trades that happen on Thursday, as they may be doomed collusion. Good. Secondly, for the people who are not understanding your reference to TV shows, he is talking about House of the Dragons. I've been watching with my queen. We've watched every episode except the one from this Sunday, which I heard was very, very, very good. I got thoughts. I know we're in medieval times.
Mm-hmm.
The stories set in medieval times. This story, Game of Thrones, are all set in medieval times, but there's a whole lot of family on family in here, and
and you are watching it.
Well, it's a TV show. It's good. It's not every scene, so it's not the porno, but there's a lot of babies running around here, so you have to insinuate that something's happening, right?
Didn't old boy try to sleep with his niece the first season? And aren't they married now?
They are.
But I'm freaky for saying that I'm a real eater because I put cornbread at the bottom of the bowl.
You just shouldn't look at a man and say I'm a real eater.
Okay, I'm gonna look off camera. I'm a real eater.
Okay, that's fair. See, You can be. Hey, listen, you can be whatever you want to be. I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying you shouldn't look at another man and say.
Okay, fair enough.
Listen. You ever just met like the real ditzy chick that just be saying the random stuff out the blue for nothing, dude or girl?
That was college.
Yo, they got this chick in there named Helena. I think she might be. Yo, every time I see her, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? I literally say, yo, what the fuck is up with Shorty? Is she on the narcotic?
Oh, let's see what Helena looks like, and I can tell you everything I need to know. Oh yeah,
I think.
Oh no, she on the spectrum for sure.
No,
No, that's the wrong. That's the wrong.
My first comment is she on the narcotic? My second comment be, yo, is Shorty on the spectrum?
I think it looked like she might have Down syndrome because that's what happens when your mom and dad are uncle and niece.
First off, that's not that part of the family. Her husband is her brother. Her child is the kid.
So the baby daddy is daddy and uncle.
Yeah. Bam. So Bam says Helena is a dreamer, so she sees the future. So maybe she probably does because she do be saying some shit. But Danny, you got to hear like, yo, she be talking. She be like, yo, I do not trust the rats. Like, bitch, what the fuck is she talking
to this bitch? Hey, she talking about snitches.
She be like, I do not trust the rats, and then she talking about someone who may be a rat catcher. Like, okay, well,
wait, there's a rat catcher.
There's rat catchers. Yeah, this is set in medieval times, man. What the
I just never thought that someone's job would be running around the city catching rats. So what do you do with the rats when you catch them? Do you set them on fire? Do you drop them in the ocean? What do you do with them?
Danny, I'm with you in 2024, so I don't know what they did.
The show doesn't show you that. I feel like that's a very important piece of the story. What do you do with all the rats?
Are you on the narcotic?
That's a legit question. If a city has so many rats that you need to hire someone to catch them, then what do they do with the rats after they catch them? I'm assuming
the show is not about rats. They were just rat catchers, and they were just under the guise of being a rat catcher to get into the. Yeah, shut up. What are you talking about?
That's a legit question. I know that's a legit. What do you do with all the rats?
Helena is on them drugs, and she just be saying random shit. It be irking the fuck out of me.
And it's crazy how on that show, like they be in brothels, like full blown, out in the open, just brothels.
That's what they used to.
It's the oldest business on earth. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, Bam. I think they eat them too. Like that's your payment. Eat rats, you peasant. I'm sorry.
Do you wake up and be Malcolm Danny Ocean like every day?
You must confuse me with Achille.
Nah, that's you. That's you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 148 of Speak On. You already know when you see this Nas fade, it can only be one brother, the good brother, Los D Mix. Of course, as always, every Tuesday, I am joined by the one and only smoothest bald head on the East Coast, my man, Danny Ocean. How we doing, man?
We're doing great. This week of me getting older, for the 4th of July, we went to my in-laws' house in Maryland. I've slept in their guest room on that bed 1,000 times. I slept on it Wednesday night, and I woke up and my back was in excruciating pain. It's like, oh no, is this what being an old man is like?
Is that where you at? You an old man now?
Yeah, like it's better. Like I've done some stretches, trying to get it loose and keep it loose, but not great, Bob.
So if Bam see you on Thursday and say he want to throw a little bit of them hands to see where you at, are you gonna be able to?
Well, first of all, Bam has been a massive human being for like 20 years. He doesn't need me at my weakest to take me down. He could have done it years ago.
So maybe he said he just want to throw the hands a little bit. Pop, pop.
Well, if he wants to take me down as a senior citizen, that speaks more in his character than
that's where you at right now.
I was healthy and young.
Senior citizen?
Hey man, have to sit on
See,
a medicine
but
ball
last
right
week
now.
when a couple weeks ago when I told you that you couldn't hoop, you didn't want to listen to me then.
I can still hoop. That is not the problem.
That's probably where you hurt your back.
Probably, you know what? And I probably need to start wearing shoes with better support. That's probably,
Are you in them Nikes?
huh?
Are you in them Nikes?
No, so like I wear boat shoes to work, and then I have these pair of Haracha sandals that I found. They're my favorite sandal. I love them. I
Boat
wear them every
shoes.
day.
Man, if you don't
Yeah,
take them off, put on some Vomero 5s or something. Come on, get
to work.
swaggy.
I don't go to
Yeah,
work to be swaggy. I go to work to get a paycheck.
get a little drip off.
I can't pull off the Vomeros either. My feet are too
If you can, a
big,
little
right? My feet are
flax.
too wide, and I
You
don't like
buy.
wearing like I don't like wearing wide because you have to wear those with like wide leg jeans. I don't like wide leg jeans,
No, you don't. You just gotta wear them with some. I mean,
and I also hate how baggy jeans are coming back. Like baggy clothes are coming back. I refuse. Nope, won't be me.
yeah, baggy clothes. Listen, you got to be a certain size to wear baggy clothes because after a certain size, if your clothes would already be considered baggy on somebody else, you should go like true to size.
Thank you. If not, you're gonna be looking like a ghost.
Hey. All right. We got some NFL, we got a little NBA, WNBA. We got a little fantasy talk.
Yeah.
Little fantasy talk. I think starting next week, it sounds like we're going to get right back into our yearly breakdown by division
Yep.
of the NFL, previewing the season. So starting next week, we'll get into the AFC South. The following week, we'll go AFC East. Then we'll go NFC West, NFC South, and then AFC West, AFC North, NFC North, and then of course
Best
before
division in all of football.
the season ends, we will be ending with a good old breakdown of everyone's favorite division in sports, the NFC least or East,
Okay.
depending on if you're a fan. But staying in the NFL, let's start today's show by sending some condolences and RIPs to Kyrie King, Isaiah Hazel, and Anthony Linton Jr., who were involved in a car crash. I believe it was Saturday or Sunday.
Yep.
I believe they were trying to take a turn on the street where they were hit by a car that was trying to aggressively change lanes while at a high speed. Really, really unfortunate. So condolences and prayers to the families. You know, I know times like this, especially when it's a young brother who just got drafted, was getting ready to really start living his dream, and you know, it's unfortunate that he gets to be taken so early before he's really even able to really experience or even begin to live up to his potential in the NFL. So in regards to Kyrie King, but overall 3 people lost their lives. So just want to send those RIPs to, Kyrie King, Isaiah Hazel, and Anthony Linton Jr. and all their family members. Just send them prayers and condolences during this time. Damn.
Well said.
Thank you, my brother. All right. Let's get into some other NFL news. Are you buying any stock to Dak Prescott in this walking boot after the fishing trip? What do you think's going on here?
Well, apparently he's fine. Apparently it was a sprain. He's out of the boot now. Much ado about nothing. But, if I could put on my tinfoil hat, the fear I'm sure Jerry felt in that moment. Dak, hey man, imagine what life would be without me. Give me my money. I'll do it. I'll sprain my ankle on the fishing trip, and I won't play.
No, is that what you're thinking?
I said if I could be I don't think, but if I were a conspirator, what is it? A conspirist? Yes.
Let me tell you, I think I don't buy any of this. I am really of the mindset, and the more of these headlines, because I see what's trying to happen. I think that maybe Jerry, one side is trying to use the media to get the other side to cave and give that deal. I think if I had to choose a side, I would probably say Jerry Jones' side. I bet you they probably already knew about Dak's little walking boot and stuff like that. they had to get given it cleared or some sort of clearance. You know what I mean? Wouldn't surprise me if they probably had recently had some interesting contract talks. Like I'm pretty sure it's been ongoing, and they want to post a story about Dak in the walking boot to maybe put some pressure to get the media to put some pressure on. Hey, if you're injured like that, are you sure you don't want to just take the money now and guarantee your future versus XYZ, letting it be played to faith, next off season. So I think Jerry Jones and team may be on the verge of, not on the verge, maybe trying to do what they can to try to get their guy in at a decent number, especially before, next season, next off season is going to be tremendously more expensive. So I think they're trying to get ahead of it now. But at the same time, I also think this is much ado about nothing. I think the Cowboys as an organization know Dak's going to be there week 1. And he's going to be their guy. He's going to be their guy here in about 2 weeks or a week and a half when training camp starts. So I'm not buying too much into it, personally.
Can you believe that training camp is 2 weeks away? I was listening to a pod today, and I was like, oh, my gosh. They report training camp in 2 weeks. We here. We made it. We did it.
I'm here, and I am ready for it. It's about that time. We kicked off the season in our All Money In League.
Yep.
Our redraft league. I'm excited about that. Of course, we got the always ever going All Money In Dynasty League, everyone's favorite league. And I'll be excited once, the summer ends and the fall begins and we're in football season. So Akili and folks will start popping up in here to hear some of the commissioner's thoughts. I'm hoping to make that a weekly thing. We'll get to that later. What are your thoughts about Shad Khan, who says, he's probably went in about $300 million in guaranteed money this offseason. So in an interview recently, he was just saying that making the playoffs is not enough and that the Jaguars need to win now. They are in win now mode. They are trying to make deep runs in the playoffs. They are trying to make it to Super Bowls, and they're trying to win championships. Danny, let me tell you something. Let me ask you something. Is putting pressure on your team like this good or bad?
I think I'm indifferent. They know how much money you're investing in the team, and they does he think Doug Peterson's like, no, they're trying to win now. Like I understand from owner reiterating that. I'm a bit indifferent. I just get Shad. We do. Let's see. When do we do the AFC South? Yeah, AFC South is next week. Brother, tune in. We can talk you off the ledge because you'll be lucky to finish second in your division.
You think so? With that roster, the talent they've added, the talent that they have, I think the only real competition they have is Houston in terms of.
I think Houston is competition, and we'll talk about this next week. My thoughts on the Titans and Anthony Richardson is the wild card in that division. If he is even a fraction as good as we think he is, then brother, the Jags are being for a rude awakening.
I think even with AR, he missed a good portion of his rookie season, so you got to think that he's going to need some time. So I don't know, man. I think Trevor Lawrence is the most seasoned veteran QB in this division. I think outside of CJ Stroud, he's probably the best QB in this division.
Oh, 100%.
So I think when you marry the two, I don't see the Jags being as beatable as they were last year. I think they tightened up some things, but I also, maybe don't see them run away with the division. I think it could be a close one, but I could see a deeper playoff run for this team.
We'll talk about it next week, but an overview, I think the AFC is just ridiculously stacked. Every division you can make an argument for 2 or 3 teams making the playoffs, except the AFC East.
Well, why can't you?
Yeah, the AFC West too. You can make an argument for 2 teams in every division, except the AFC East.
Why the AFC East only? No Jets?
We'll talk about it.
Bills and Dolphins?
So I think the Bills take a step back. We know who the Dolphins are. We know who the Dolphins are.
Why do the Dolphins take a step back, but the Bills don't?
No, I meant the Bills took a step back, and we know who the Dolphins are.
Okay, so why'd the Bills take a step back?
They
And
lost Stephon Diggs. Like the Bills have clearly made a decision. We are going like the team that we played in the AFC Championship game against Mahomes and the time. Not even that was that the AFC Championship game, or was that the second round?
second round.
Whatever. Yeah, that team as constructed with that core doesn't have enough gas to make it to the Super Bowl. We need to take a step back and try this again. And Josh Allen's contract, I think he's due for a re-up.
Soon.
Yeah, I think maybe after this year. Let's see. Let's look at Josh Allen's contract. Yeah, so they can get out. No, okay, so 2 years from now. So they can get out at the end of the 25 season.
Oh yeah.
Damn, I didn't realize his contract was this long. Wow.
They extended him early though.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, he's not a free agent until 2029, so they got some time.
Oh, by then you don't even know if he's the same guy though.
Yeah, I'm trying to see when his cap hit, either when his cap hit goes down or when his cap hit goes okay. Yeah, so this year his cap hit is 30 million. Next year the cap hit is 60 million. So I would imagine maybe an extension this offseason or maybe converting some of that to a signing bonus because a cap hit doubling, that doesn't happen.
That's true. And let that count towards some of the guaranteed.
Yeah, so this is a Howie Roseman trick. So if a player has a massive cap hit, and you also have to have an owner who has the kind of cash to do this, he'll convert. Let's say if the cap hits 30 million, let's convert 12 million of that into a signing bonus to help us out to give us some wiggle room. But again, you got to have the owner that can do that.
Yeah.
Or 5 million or 5 million this player, 6 million for that player. Like let's convert some of this money into signing bonuses.
And that goes against the hard cap?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe if you convert, now you can't convert the whole cap hit, but I believe you can convert. Like I remember Fletcher Cox with, oh yeah, Fletcher is taking a $5 million signing bonus. Now his cap hit went from 20 to 15. So now the Eagles have freed up $5 million in cap space theoretically, but they didn't. They just paid cash. But again, you got to have an owner that has access to that kind of money and wants to write a $5 million check. Because not everyone can do that. Or they want to do that.
Touche. Hey, when it comes to these contracts, you be knowing them, my boy. You know that? You be knowing them. Gladys, how we doing? Nice to
meet Gladys?
You. How's it going? Question for you. So John Gruden loses his bid for the Nevada Supreme Court to reconsider his contract interference and conspiracy lawsuit he filed against the NFL. Remember that when he resigned as a coach and all that? Do you think this is a big deal or no big deal that John Gruden is trying to get back into coaching?
I'd love to hear you go first on this one.
John, let me tell you something. It's over, brother. It's over. You know what? Danny, talk. I'm going to find a bed of music that best conveys.
Perfect. So, the only NFL team that you can talk yourself into thinking, maybe we can give John another chance is the team he had to leave. The Raiders are like the only team that I can think of. They're like, yeah, he said some reckless stuff. He might be a little bit racist, but we can make it work here. We're the Raiders. And that's the team he had to leave. So, no, I do think it's over. I can't think of a team. Like, you can't even bring him on as like one of those quality coaching guys. Like, I don't think you can bring him in the building. Now, we know this country and we know the history of everything, and I wouldn't be shocked, but I don't know how you look your players in the eye and like, yeah, John makes us better.
You know what? Instead of playing the song, I got a song to sing.
Oh,
John Gruden, my brother, you are one of the greatest offensive minds the game of football has ever seen. We may never find one like you. And if and when Mike Tomlin maybe considers giving you a chance on his staff to rebuild your image and
mm.
character, we'll never know. But until then, nah, 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 nah. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. Woo! Nah, 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 nah.
Hey, Dom. We'll talk about wrestling later. Get ready to hear this song. Whoa. What are you
What's the
talking
song?
about? Ben, what are you talking about?
Deglazing Groot. Wait a minute. Hey, yo. Do you find it funny that Bam always finds ways to? Never mind. On our continuing coverage of Brandon Aiyuk trying to get fired from his job, recently he posted a picture of Jaden Daniels' practice picture, literally from the practice film. Danny, where are you at in our current coverage of Brandon Aiyuk is definitely trying to get fired?
I'm impressed, man. The dedication. Like at first, it was a little subliminal. Like his girl was talking like this is our last year in San Francisco. I think another relative was speaking on his behalf. And he's like, no, 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 no. You need to hear from me. I hate it here so much. I'd rather go play in DC in the worst stadium in football to get out of here.
Maybe he wanted to go play with old his old college QB.
Which is
And
cool.
maybe when he looked at the offensive system, he realized his skill set would be better utilized. He won't be just blocking for Christian McCaffrey all the time.
I think him in DC is a great fit. Him and Scary Terry, like you don't have the big receiver, but man, you got some great possession guys. Brandon, you might be one of the best route runners in the league. That's a scary offense. Like that'd be an offense based on precision, kind of like the old Packers offense, right? Like Devontae
Exactly.
Adams. Jordy Nelson was kind of a big guy, but he was also like a burner. How big was Jordy Nelson?
Jordan Nelson was like 6'2", 6'3",
Yeah,
maybe
I
6'4".
feel like Jordy Nelson was a big man. Let's see. Damn, he's 40 years old. Yeah, so he's 6'3". So how tall is Terry McLaurin? I don't think Terry is that tall.
6', 6'1".
Yeah, he's 6 even. So yeah, they don't. I mean, it would still be a scary offense. Don't get me wrong. No, Gladys, we do not want Brandon Aiyuk in Pittsburgh.
Why not?
We don't want to waste his career. He already in a place where his quarterback is mid. He want to go to somewhere where he has two of them.
But where else you gonna go?
DC. He has made it very clear, which is not good because now DC has no leverage at all.
Or maybe their leverage is, ain't nobody else going to trade for him because he already wants to go there. So trade him to us for our price.
That could also be the case. But who has the cap space to sign him? I guess that's the biggest question. What team has the money to sign him?
Do you think we're talking about this next week?
Yes. We're going to be talking about this through training camp because it doesn't seem like the 49ers are going to budge.
Do you think he shows up to training camp?
No, I don't. You can't do that and then show up to training camp and dap up Brock Purdy. Like, that's dead.
Why everybody in their feelings? It's not like he was dissing Brock Purdy.
You're fawning. You are in a relationship. What would your significant other do? And you can ask me the same question if you were out and you were just staring at a girl. Like y'all at dinner and across the restaurant, there's a girl, she's striking, and you just stare at her.
Well, it'd be some trouble, I can tell you that.
Exactly. You think your current significant other would appreciate that? And then y'all go home, Like nothing happened. Yeah, it's the action, man.
It's the action that counts.
Did Brandon is staring across the restaurant at Jaden Daniels and Brock Purdy saying, "Hey, I'm right here," and he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. The butter's over there. You're fine."
He's basically like, "Yo, big dog, come here. We don't really need you here anymore."
Oh, that's what Brock says to Brandon.
I think that's what he says.
Oh, that's a bold. It's coming down to, do you want to play Brock or do you want to play Brandon? Are you going to play Brock because he's the quarterback?
Gotta pay them QBs. Um, we want to switch it to the NBA.
Yeah, let's talk some hoops because I feel like our opportunity to talk hoops is dwindling.
Yeah, I mean, thoughts on DeMar DeRozan to the Kings?
I think we need to think of this through the lens of the Kings are probably a tier 3, tier 4 team in general in regards to like ranking franchises in the NBA. So if you think of it as their tier 3 team, this is a great move, right?
Really?
Yeah, but if you think in general, like compared to other teams, who cares? Do you think De'Aaron Fox and DeMar DeRozan and Sabonis fit together? I really don't. Do you think
I mean,
that three scares anyone in the West? I don't.
scared the Lakers.
Like,
Yeah,
are
no
they a
answer.
play-in team? Sure. Do I think they'll be a top 4 seed next year? Nah, I don't think that.
Really?
We're talking 6 best case scenario, most realistic scenario. They're fighting Golden State for one of the last playing spots, like Golden State and New Orleans for the last playing spots.
Really?
Do you think this moves the needle in any form or fashion in the West?
Say that again. I'm sorry, you're
Do you?
breaking up.
I'm sorry. Do you think this changes the outcome of? Does this change your view of how you rank them in the West? Like, do you have them higher now than you did before the trade?
Oh man, I mean, it's hard with the Kings because you just kind of know. I mean,
They're the Kings.
when you have DeMar on the team, you know there's a certain way of basketball that has to be played, right? Because of his game. But at the same time, when you have Sabonis in there too, does that clog up the lane? But at the same time, you know Sabonis is going to do. He gets a lot of people involved. So, I am with Bam though. I would have maybe like DeRozan on the Lakers, but listen, nobody wants to play with LeBron, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, because Luka's down in Dallas. I don't know.
And I don't think it's because of LeBron necessarily. I think it's the attention that comes with playing with him.
Yeah, it's everything LeBron does is examined. Like if LeBron ties his shoe and takes a deep side, it's leading first take the next day. Like
they're gonna make it racy too, fast.
Yeah, like does LeBron want to leave LA? So I understand that. I just
Genie Plus is he undermining black women? Like,
can we go back for a second?
What's up?
Gladys said, "Doesn't matter where you get your appetite as long as you eat at home." What is that in reference to, Gladys? I missed that. Some context.
Yo, Birdman. Speaking of Gladys, Birdman, you don't have to let us know that you do this for Miss Gladys and
every time.
And like every chance he get, he said he can't be heartbroken because the only love he ever had, Miss Gladys, died. And he said everything he do it for Miss Gladys and for the people. And he said that at Essence Fest this past weekend. I was like, okay, Birdman, that's dope, but like, huh?
What that got to do with Turk and a Hot Boy reunion?
Like, what they got to do with the price of tea in China? I'm like, nobody give a damn about.
It's funny you say that, the price of tea in China. My mom says that, and I didn't know it was a thing. Like, I didn't know that was a saying. I thought she just said that. I'd never, like, my mom says it all the time.
You give a. How did you come up with that?
At this point, I'm just like, okay, yeah, you're right. But now that someone else has said it, could it be a thing?
It's definitely a thing, my boy.
That's crazy. I got to call and apologize. I've been making fun of her all these years.
You got to call the people?
Yeah, I gotta call it a night.
What's next? Bronny G thoughts?
He is who he was at college.
He's a playmaker. You see those plays he's making on
did you
both ends of the
see?
court?
Did you see that graphic? It was like 22 minutes, 2 points, 2 rebounds. Here's what I'll say about Bronny. The man died on the basketball court a year ago. He didn't have a good year at USC because he died on the basketball court a year ago.
Talk to me. People be acting like that didn't happen.
It's going to take time. I know his contract is fully guaranteed, and I'm with it. Get your money, but it would be nice if there were a way he could go play. He can't play in the G League now. I believe he has to have a roster spot because he probably the best served signing a 2-way contract, going to the G League, getting back up to par, and then coming to the pros. But I don't have big expectations for Bronny.
But it's not like this Lakers team has like a deep roster or a long roster. They're running it back with a lot of people from last year.
Yeah, but do you think he's going to play a significant role if there is something on the line during the season? Like if you get to the All-Star break and the Lakers are the 5 seed, do you think like Bronny would get significant time compared to if they were the 10th seed and it was like, yeah, time to pack this show up, give him some minutes?
Say that again? Oh, I'm sorry. You keep like breaking in and out. I'm sorry.
Really? Maybe it's my hold on, let me put this closer. I'm saying, do you think as the season goes on, like if the Lakers are in contention for the playoffs, do you think he gets significant minutes? Do you think there's a minutes increase as the season goes on, or do you think do you think he's really going to play a role in winning this year for the Lakers?
It's funny because I was talking to somebody about this today, and here's what I said. If we're depending on Bronny James minutes, we are in a bad spot.
Thank you.
We are in a spot where like I gotta look at our team and say, is this it? Is this where LeBron's gonna end his career, retire, AD, then Bronny, so on and so forth, just lead us forward? Like, is this it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at peace with that.
I'm glad to hear that because Bronny is going to take all the pressure. So when Bryce comes, it's a wrap. Because Bryce is the one. I don't know if Bryce is on Team USA.
Go ahead.
Now he's on the Olympic team. I think the U18 team or the U17 or maybe the 16. I think whatever U16 through 18. Like Bryce the one. He's the one.
Because he's like 6'7", 6'8" right now.
And he's like 4. Hold on. How old is he? He's like 16.
15, 16?
He's 17. Okay, he just turned 17. He is 6'6".
What you thinking?
At 17.
How special do you think he can be?
I mean, we'll see. I think he needs to get a little bit. Yeah, so Bam says Bron will be more dependable than Rui. I don't know about all that. I gotta put some respect on Rui's name, man.
Bam just be talking.
I don't think Bryce has declared it either. He got UCLA written all over him.
You think so? One went to UCLA, one went to USC.
It just feels right.
But I don't think UCLA is a Nike school. They have to go to Nike schools.
Oh yeah, UCLA is Under Armour, right?
They're actually Jordan.
Oh, okay. So yeah, well, never mind. Well, then he's going to Ohio State.
You think he would be the one to go to Ohio State?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, just hoping. Yeah, dog. I'm on his Instagram. He is almost as tall as LeBron. He's 17. He the one.
Bam, when Rui was in that lineup of AD, LeBron, Reeves, D'Lo, and Rui, AD, LeBron, D'Lo, and Reeves. When it was that lineup, that was our best lineup and most efficient one. It just took Darvin Ham until half the season to figure it out.
Yeah.
And we got D'Lo coming back, so good.
So you're a D'Lo fan?
I was a fan. Dude gets buckets. Now he's a pocket rocket. You don't know what you're gonna get, but when he's hot,
A what?
a pocket rocket.
What is that?
He's a flamethrower. He's hot or he's
Okay.
cold. What do you think of LeBron when he says that he doesn't know that Bronny doesn't that he doesn't know if he could deal with the pressure the way Bronny does?
Well, that's why LeBron's there. Like LeBron can take that pressure off Bronny whenever he wants. Like if the heat gets too hot on Bronny, LeBron could do something passive aggressive. He can do something LeBron. He'll tweet a snake emoji.
All right, explain this again. Explain what you're saying to me like I'm 5.
Okay, so the question is, do you believe Brown when he says he doesn't know how Bronny handles everything in this generation? Oh, I'm sorry. I misread the question. It's because Bronny's been in the spotlight his whole life. He's been in his dad's shadow his whole life. His entire life. Like
But
Bron hit the scene at 16. So he had 16 years of being normal.
But Bron was also talking about how because of his background and because, he was going to the league and he was trying to do it from a standpoint of like he was trying to make it for his family and his friends around him versus Bronny who,
who doesn't need this job.
Yeah.
I think
so he's like, he doesn't know how he deals with it.
If I'm Bronny, I would say I don't know how LeBron, like you said, LeBron had to pull an entire generation out of Ohio. Like Bronny just doing this. So let's be real. Like Bronny can play in the league for 3 years, be like, man, that was fun. I'm gonna go do something else, and he'll be just okay. LeBron didn't have that option. LeBron, I gotta go to the league. I gotta win. I gotta be one of the best ever. Like there is no other option. Bronny has options.
He's got plenty of options. What are your thoughts on playoff? First off, Bam. Bam said pause, and he said you're talking about him. By the way,
wait, what?
I don't know. What are your thoughts on playoff P detailing his contract negotiations with the Clippers and how sour those went, which led him to joining up with Philly and the Sixers?
I am of the belief that every athlete does not need a podcast, but Paul George is really good at it. And Paul George, and this is why we want athletes to have the ones that we enjoy, because they can tell us things that no one else can. Like that's what makes Chef Teague such a good podcaster. He just got stories out to wazoo, and they're all funny. Like
I think that's what makes Draymond Green good.
Yes, and Draymond's not afraid to go on the mic and be like, "Yo, he sucked," and play him the next night. Oh, he's talking about pocket rockets. But yeah, like I think Paul George giving us a look into how contract negotiations work over the course of a season. I thought that was really fascinating because a lot of NFL teams like, yo, if we don't get your contract done by training camp, don't talk to us until February. And in the NBA, some NFL teams like talk throughout the season, but at a certain point, it's like this. But Paul George is like, we talked pretty much until I said I didn't want to talk anymore.
They were trying. But were they really trying, or were they just trying to save face?
I think the Clippers wanted him gone, which is crazy because you're opening a new arena.
And how are you going to sell a new arena without 2 superstars? Now but you got this team full of Kawhi and a bunch of...
But we talked about it last week. That second apron is a beat. Like if you sign Paul George to that contract, you have zero flexibility for like 3 or 4 years. Like that's it.
LeBron took less money so they can get under the second.
Yeah, they're like $50K under the second apron or something like that. Like $42,000 under the second apron.
Hey, it got there somehow.
It got there. I'm saying like that's what that second apron is such a beast. Teams like, dog, we just got to get $42,000. We just got to get the IT help desk salary underneath that joint to
that
avoid.
Counts?
Yeah, say what?
That counts?
What do you mean that counts?
IT desk salary.
Yeah, like that $42,000. Like that's how much probably the IT guy. Well, not IT. They make a lot of money. Like that's probably what someone entry level makes in an industry. Like we just got to get the entry level like 40. So we don't have to pay the consequence of being over the second apron. Like the second apron, what's that wall in Game of Thrones?
That's
the North.
It's the wall. The wall. It's the wall
Yeah,
between the North and them people.
that's what the second apron is.
You know, it's so funny. In House of the Dragon, they kind of allude to what's out there in that past that wall. They kind of allude to it, and then when you think back to like people who've watched Game of Thrones, you see how that plays out. You're just like, oh boy, little do they know.
Well, I know what happens, and I know who's out there. Do you think we'll get an episode like a flashback on how the Ice King became to be, or is he?
I got a theory that I've been talking to people about, and they're just like, "You got to watch the latest episode."
Okay,
But
Bam,
I mean,
don't spoil it.
all right, never mind.
Well, I
What
said
are your
Bam,
thoughts?
don't spoil it because he watched it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Ant-Man, who was kiddingly talking, but he said that he's still the number one option on the U.S. men's national team that's going to be playing in the Olympics this year?
He wasn't kidding. Like he was laughing, but he was serious.
You know, so I was talking to someone today, and we were just talking about the Olympics in our group, and they were like, I think it'll come down to us and Serbia who'll come out of that group, but they were just like, they're like some of these other teams are kind of being slept on because it's like FIBA rules. And he was like, because FIBA is way more physical and because they don't really have like the 3-second rule, he's like, imagine a paint area with just Rudy and Gobert, Rudy Gobert and Wembanyama just right there. And they're just like trying to block any and everything that's coming through there. Like that's some of these teams are going to be way tougher than we think. Bam, stop playing with me. So I don't know. Let me ask you something. How confident are you that you think USA is going to bring the gold back?
I'm pretty confident.
Really?
It's going to be hard. It's not going to be a cakewalk. I don't think the world has completely caught up to America, but the gap is a lot closer. When you get the USA roster and you look at other rosters, a lot of rosters have a great starting five, but then you kind of lose. The further you go down the bench, the more steam you lose. Like you go on America's bench, and it's like, oh, there's Tyrese Halliburton, there's Kawhi Leonard. If Kawhi plays, but you know what I mean? Like there's Steph. Like who's the starting five? It's probably Steph, Ant, Braun, AD, Kevin Durant. Those are probably your starting five.
Say it again. So Steph,
And Ant, Braun, Anthony Davis, and KD. So Ant will play the five. KD will probably play the three. Braun the four.
Thing, though. They also got Joel Embiid.
That's what I'm saying. I look down the bench and there's Joel Embiid. There's Tyrese Halliburton. Like it just goes. I don't have the right. There's Bam Adebayo.
Who's to say Joel Embiid's not a starter though?
But that's my point though, right? Like
what if for one matchup they go Halliburton, Steph, Braun, Embiid, AD.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like the roster is so deep, you can throw anything in any country. Like you can figure it out. I don't know if the other countries have that same luxury.
That's why I'm glad the NBA has all these aprons and second aprons in place, because imagine some of these teams, like if they were like actually constructed as like teams for real.
Yeah,
like, this is ridiculous.
Like for Canada. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was getting ready to say, like, imagine a lineup of Halliburton, Steph, LeBron, AD, and Embiid on the same team. Like, are you kidding me?
Like, you could do that. That would be a great lineup against France. Like that's your Wemby and Gobert problem right there.
Yeah. What about Puerto Rico? Now you go a little bit smaller, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You also got like Tatum, Drew Holiday. You could also listen if you go up against someone like I know they're not into it, like Luka. Maybe then you have a starting backcourt of Drew Holiday and Kawhi Leonard.
And just put Luka. I'm glad Slovenia didn't make it. Luka can finally rest. But yeah, but it's just like for Canada, Dylan Brooks gonna start no matter what. You sure about that? Like you got Shea, absolutely, but Dylan Brooks gonna start no matter. Dwight Powell is their center.
And to all you people out here who don't be watching international ball, just know that some of these NBA guys that you didn't really hear of, they're gonna get buckets.
Oh yeah, they gonna get buckets.
You remember the Rondé Hollis Jefferson game?
Yep.
I was sitting there watching like, ain't no damn way that's Rondé Hollis Jefferson.
Yep. They're gonna cook. They're gonna cook for their country, but I don't think it's enough.
30. Um, Speaking of Steph, he also said that after that Warriors dynasty, he doesn't think there'll be any more dynasties just based on how the NBA is being structured with some of these rules. You buying into that?
Yep. CJ McCollum is the president of the Players Association in the union, and that's what he did. He and Chris Paul made sure that shit could never happen again. That's why them aprons exist. That second apron is there so the Warriors can never happen again, because it just used to be the luxury tax, right? For every dollar you spend, you got to spend $3. And when you're talking about billionaires who are raking in billions, who gives a rip? We can put that together. It ain't no problem. But when we talk about flexibility and team flexibility on top of luxury taxes and taking assets away, now we have a problem. CJ McCollum is going to sleep very easily.
I hope he does not sometimes, because all he and Chris Paul did was
and Grant Williams.
And they, you noticing something here? A lot of people mad that they were close to winning rings and did not, all because of the Warriors who got them the fuck out of here. And so they got pissy about it and decided they were going to find a way to fix this.
And they did. Like this was probably the easiest conversation between the owners and the union. Man, we don't want the Warriors to happen again. We don't either. Cool. Let's stop this.
Speaking of, that's a good comment. Bam said, speaking of Olympic basketball, the women's Olympic team, they're expected to dog walk all of their opponents as usual. Bam says, the U.S. Olympic team. What are your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. If you just want to watch someone beat somebody's ass for an hour and a half, like Team USA is going to dominate. The basketball world in regards on the women's side is nowhere near.
Nowhere near close.
Nowhere close.
Maybe no other country even dares to even put their women in them type of environments. America, we're like, throw them to the wolves.
Throw them to the wolves. Like you have some players on some WNBA teams that are like, there are more international players in the W than there were maybe a year or two ago, but those players aren't needle movers. Like they're role players. So you're going to take a role player and put them on
bunch of Boban Bogdanoviches, but on the women's side.
Yeah, and go put them on Team France. Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. Man, I know I'm excited for football season. I mean, we're in like the off season of basketball. We're in Olympic season. I'm just really excited for football season. I'm really excited.
2 weeks.
Packers back out there. In about a month, we'll be getting maybe some first preseason games and stuff. I don't know, man. I'm just really excited for NFL football. Ladies and gentlemen, as we mentioned earlier at the top of the show, next week we will be beginning our 8-week divisional breakdown. So each week we'll break down one division across the NFL. Next week we'll be starting with the AFC South. So just make sure you guys are tuning in for that. You hear about UConn giving Dan Hurley 6 years over $50 million for an extension.
Fire Rob Pelinka. Is that all it took?
He didn't want to leave the school.
I know he used the Lakers as leverage, but you are the Lakers.
He didn't want to leave the school.
There was a number that would have let him leave UConn.
See, that's that stuff that people be saying to try to make fans feel better. I mean, feel worse about the situation. But in all actuality, he did not want to leave the school.
Here's the thing, and this is only specific to the Lakers and the Celtics because they are the brands in basketball, but especially LA because it's LA. You are LA. History has shown us that you get what you want. Shaq didn't want to leave Orlando. Dr. Buss picked up the phone and said, bring your ass to Orlando. Here's how much money I'm willing to give you. And guess what Shaq did?
He got to Orlando.
He got to LA.
Listen, this is not This is not the 90s. Dr. Bus is no longer with us. God bless his soul.
Even LeBron, though.
Listen.
Did LeBron want to come to LA?
Yes, but LeBron had enough money from all his career earnings that some of these California state taxes wouldn't affect him.
Taxes have been in effect this whole time.
Yeah, and not everyone's getting maxed out like Braun is. Some people are getting like 2 for 24. That's really breaking down to them coming home with like
16, 15.
Start breaking it down with me, mama, and papa, and them. That 16 turned to 8. You start buying a few nice things for your homies. That 8 turned to 6. You start buying some stuff for you and your woman. That 6 turned to
2.
2.
All I'm saying is the Lakers brand used to mean something. Like that used to be the cherry on top.
How do we know that JJ Redick and Dan Hurley wouldn't produce the same results with both having no NBA experience?
One guy is a back-to-back national champion, and the other guy was coaching 4th graders last year.
But he played the NBA at a high level for a very long time.
Doesn't mean he's going to be a good coach.
Listen, well, what the fuck you want us to do now? We already hired the guy. So
I'm just saying the Lakers need to get back to being the Lakers.
We trying, Jennifer. But if you've paid attention to the Lakers and their record since 2010, getting back to the Lakers means doing exactly what we've been doing.
Well, I'm not rooting for you, but good luck.
What are your thoughts about Money in the Bank this past week?
Man.
So Drew won Money in the Bank, but then lost the cash-in opportunity versus Damian Priest.
Well, first of all, Seth Rollins should have been champion. That botch pin. Did you see that?
Wait, that was botched?
Yeah. The ref counted to 3 and Damian never kicked out. Like Seth should have. And Seth acknowledged that on Raw last night. Did you hear Seth's promo?
No, what'd he say?
So Seth was like, I can accept that referees make mistakes. That happens in all sports, but he's kind of telling CM Punk, but I can't accept that you're sticking your nose in my business. Like Seth acknowledged, yeah, that was a botch. Like the ref counted to 3. Priest was supposed to kick out. He didn't. And they just kept going. Like he kicked out. And by kicked out, I think Seth yanked him up clearly after 3. So I don't know if Damian was dazed for a second.
So Seth was actually supposed to win the belt.
I don't think he was supposed. I think what was supposed to happen, but during that, Damian didn't kick out, and the ref counted to 3. Seth should have been champion.
Whether they planned it or not, you're saying?
Yeah, whether they planned it or not, the ref counted to 3, and Damian didn't kick out.
That's 2 matches in a row. Damian's had some botches. You think something's up there?
Hey man, heavy is the head.
What do you mean?
That main event spotlight is a whole lot hotter than being the 3rd match on the card.
Well, they're figuring out something to do with him. They got to, I think.
Well, mommy's back. We about to wrap this up.
You're right. Solo Bloodline pin Cody, KO, and Randy Orton. What's your thoughts there?
Good. They need to look as dominant and as unstoppable as possible so this Bloodline Civil War feels good.
Roman coming back sooner than you.
I mean, Solo called him out. Solo said, if you want this lay, you have to come take it.
You got to come take it. Tiffany Stratton winning the women's Money in the Bank match. What's your thoughts there?
I mean, she needs something to do.
She
can only be doing cartwheels for so long.
I was a little upset that Chelsea Green didn't win it. I thought her versus Bayley might be something fly.
Let me tell you something. Bayley versus Tiffany Stratton.
Gonna be good. Yo, Bayley, we all know.
Units.
Bayley, I don't know if you know, but we know your days as champion. I don't even,
You think they're numbered?
Oh, beyond number. I'm just waiting on her to lose the belt. I see that.
She has been kind of a boring champ, hasn't it? Who is she defending the belt at? Well, Lord, you know what that means? Charlotte Flair around the corner.
Eventually.
Is it time for Bayley to lose? Here comes Charlotte.
What else happened at Money in the Bank that was fly?
It didn't happen in Moneybag with the Wyatt Six, man.
They're fly.
Dog, this is perfect. Did you see
Chad
the Vic?
Gable.
Did you see the Vignette last night? The Uncle
Nah.
Howdy interview? Dog, those things are money.
All right, I gotta check it out. Chad Gable. Did your life together?
Chad, well, I'm glad he's alive. Because again, they shot him 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they did. What are your thoughts about the WBC banning Ryan Garcia after his latest, como se dice, racial outbreak?
I think that's the worst thing they could have done. Line up 5 black people and let him fight them. Like his next 5 matches against brothers.
Do you think that? Listen. So, what do you say to the people who say to racists, we just need to put them in condensed spaces with people of the race that they're talking about to see if they would say that shit to their face?
I think that's real justice.
You think so?
I mean, if Batman can walk around beating people up for committing crimes.
Whoa. What did I tell? Listen, we don't slander Batman.
This is not Batman hate. I love Batman. And I can't wait for the Penguin series to come out on HBO this fall, because I can't wait for the Batman cameo, and Batman 2 is going to be fly. I still watch the Batman. You know, I do not like rewatching things. I've rewatched the Batman 5 times, and I'll probably watch it again soon.
Really? It's that good to you?
It's not the best Batman movie, but I thoroughly enjoy it.
Robert Pattinson gets it done for you?
He's a good Batman. Like he is, and the Riddler is actually a serial killer, because that's what he needs to be. Because when Jim Carrey was the Riddler, he was just goofy and I'm gonna take over your mind with this. Nah, this Riddler, I'm gonna slit your throat and let your mans find you, and I'm gonna leave a clue to how I did it. Like, that's who the Riddler is. He is a serial killer. He is a sociopath. He's not just crazy and silly.
You gonna go watch the new Joaquin Phoenix Joker 2?
I'm debating it. I did not like Joker. To me, oh no, the system failed a white man and now he's going crazy. Who cares?
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for listening to Martin Luther Ocean over here. Martin Luther Ocean has... Matter of fact, keep going real quick. Let me keep going. What else?
But am I serious? Like, what happened in his life? He had a hard life, right? Like, the theme of that movie it's the same as the theme as The Killing Joke, that it just takes a couple bad rolls of the dice to turn someone insane, right? Public systems failed him, and then he just turned into a psychopath. Well, guess what, buddy? The system fails black people all the time, and we don't be out here killing folks. And I know this is fiction. We don't be out here killing. First of all, we don't get invited to be on TV, and we damn sure don't be shooting people on TV. You know I'm not lying. I don't care what you say. Go to hell. Good night, y'all. Fuck this. I'm going to bed.
Welcome, our good hour, to the gospel songs of Danny Ocean.
Am I lying, though? Am I lying? If you tell me I'm lying, I'll put this to bed. I won't ever bring it up again. Am I lying?
All right. Bring up the statement again.
So that movie is about public systems failing a man, and that leading to his...
What type of man?
Well, a man who needed those systems, right? Like, his medicine stopped, his mom wasn't doing well, like a man who needed public assistance, did not get that assistance. Those entities failed him, and in return, he turned into a psychopath. Brother, how many black people do you know that the system has failed?
Tell me more.
Plenty. I'm just saying, system failed one white man. He's shooting people on train. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. Fuck you, man.
We gotta, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is our weekly good word from Martin Luther Ocean.
Fuck you. Martin Luther Ocean is hilarious, though.
Martin Luther Ocean, my good brother, we appreciate your good word.
But apparently, Lady Gaga is a beast in this joint, so I might go see it because Lady Gaga is a good actress.
Yo, speaking of which, you hear about Lady Gaga basically saying, "Yo, y'all get it was R. Kelly or something like that." They use like,
wait, what?
Hold on.
They filmed a movie in prison with R. Kelly. That's crazy.
Nah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how I feel about Joker. Like if I have a Friday afternoon off and it's been out for a couple weeks and it has good reviews, I'm looking forward to Wolverine and Deadpool. That comes out in 2 weeks. I will go see that opening day.
July 26th, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's at the end of the month. I'm looking whatever it is. I'm gonna take a Friday and go see it. I'm really looking forward to that.
Here's what it was. So Lady Gaga let her law firm know that she didn't feel comfortable being on the same being around the same people who represented Diddy, so they dropped Diddy.
Oh wow! You see what I'm saying?
So do you have anything to say about someone who would say that is white privilege being able to do that?
Martin Luther Ocean doesn't have to say, but you know.
I don't know.
I mean, that's a rhetorical question, right? I'm trying to think who else has that kind of power. Beyonce? Taylor Swift? I didn't even know Lady Gaga had that kind of pull. She ain't made no music in 10 years.
So you think it's power that allows her to be able to just go in here and...
I'm just trying to think of what other celebrity can walk into a law office and say, like, how much bread do you have to be like, I don't like the fact, because Diddy say what you want about Diddy. He's rich.
You look at this and say white privilege?
To a degree, yes, but that's a big joke. That's a money move. Because if I'm the law firm, it's like, well, if we drop Diddy, this is how much, like, who's paying more, Diddy or Lady Gaga?
Both got money, man.
Diddy money way longer than Lady Gaga's money.
We don't know that. She was acting.
1,000% we know that. Diddy been robbing folks since 1985.
How do you know?
Diddy been screwing people out their contracts since Bad Boy came into existence. Turn that shit off, man. Oh, I hate it here.
Oh man, no, I'm tripping. No, that's funny.
I hate it here.
Oh man, that's funny. Ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere in the world with us. Hold on, man. I got us. I know the people want to hear some actual music for us to end to.
Martin Luther Ocean. I have never.
Martin Luther Ocean.
But am I lying though? That's the thing. Am I lying about Joker? Oh no, Bruce Wayne won't play with me. Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for joining us every Tuesday night. As always, this podcast is brought to you by GoingFor2Live.com, one of the best fantasy networks out here. Straight up. Me and Danny can't help but just thank you from the sincerest bottoms of our heart. Make sure you follow myself at Los D-Mix. Let me turn the music down a little bit. That is at Los. That's at LOSDEEMIX. I'm going to say it here before I maybe put it on my Instagram. I do have a new mix up live on my SoundCloud.
Perfect, because I was about to ask you when you're giving us a new mix.
I have a new mix live on the SoundCloud. I'll make sure I post it on my IG tomorrow morning. So go check that out. Listen, I made it to deep clean the house too. So
okay. So some Tyler the Creator.
Not necessarily Tyler. A little bit more R&B, a little Jersey, a little dance, a little house music. Think about things you would want to clean the house to with a little bop.
Okay. Turn me up. I'll listen to it on the way to work tomorrow. I'll listen to it at work tomorrow because I need something to get me through.
There we go. Danny, where can the people find you, my brother?
You can find Martin Luther Ocean at Danny Ocean 41. I might change my username to MLK Ocean because that is hilarious. Follow Speak on the _pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Send us your email, speakonthepod14@gmail.com. The season's coming up. You have fantasy questions. You probably want to ask me why I think Will Levis might be the second best quarterback in the AFC South. We'll find out next week. You can find out Any question you have, we'll answer it. That's called a tease.
Dracarys is what I would say right now.
Is that what you say that to the dragon to make it burn you up, right?
Yeah, because you talking some bullshit.
I didn't say he was the best. I said he could be the best. I mean, the second best. CJ Stroud's the best quarterback in that division.
He better than Trevor Lawrence?
Yes. Who you taking? Who you taking right now? CJ or Trevor? Not fantasy.
I thought you meant Will Levis or.
Yeah, I say Will Levis could be the second best quarterback in the AFC South.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is important to stay off the narcotic.
He has DeAndre Hopkins. He has Treylon Burks, a healthy Treylon Burks. We'll see y'all next week.
You heard this song?
No, who is it?
It's Travis Scott, DJ Mustard. I believe it's going to be on Mustard's new album he's got coming out. Big West Coast season, I feel like. After this. Yeah, he's putting out a new album pretty soon. I think it's gonna be called Dijon. His name is like Dijon. That's how he got the name DJ Mustard.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was a West Coast guy. I thought he was an Atlanta guy until not like us. I didn't know he was a West Coast guy.
Yeah, he's a West Coast guy. He's always being in Atlanta with the people.
Okay, that makes sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, much love and peace and blessings. We love you all. Have a great afternoon, great evening, great week.